What's up, droners? B here, and another droner dialogue for you, your ears, and your mind. And the fun part is today we're talking about charity. Now, why would I be talking about charity as a professional drone pilot? As you become one and you start to get more inquiries, you're gonna get more inquiries where people are gonna wanna hook up. People are gonna say, well, you know, it's only for like 2 hours, man. Like, what can you do for me? Or it's only for this, only for that. The only real time that I give discounts to people is when it actually is a charity work. You know, so I have a story, of course. For example, the other day, I was contacted to do a job that was actually, they needed drone shoots for a ride that they were doing. A ride up a road. I'll just leave it at that so it can be generic, but it was a ride up a road where it was actually a fundraiser to raise money for children with brain tumors. I mean, come on, it's children with brain tumors. Like, of course I'm gonna listen to you and consider what it is that what you guys have going on. And what they ended up asking me to do was work for 3 days for a flat rate of $500. Yeah, $500. Now, I have my rates that I normally charge, and I actually have an entirely separate video that you can find out exactly what my normal rates are. It's another video, check it out, it's great. It's one of my favorites. But either way, I have my regular rates, and I also have my discounted rates for, you know, such things as charity and things that I believe in and what I should do. This fell well below those the charity rates. Like, it's pretty low. So then you're faced with a choice. Either you just tell them no, pretty much for me at this point, tell them you just do it for free, or you renegotiate and say, here's a reasonable amount, here's what I normally charge for nonprofits to be able to help you guys out, because I think you do deserve the help, and I think you should have this level of quality when it comes to the drone work that you get. So I wanna help you out, so let's figure this out. So what it ended up being is I ended up negotiating a rate for pretty much, like, we ended up only shooting 2 of the 3 days instead of all 3, and ended up getting my nonprofit rate, which still isn't the best rate in the world, but I wanted to do it. But the reason I wanted to make a video about this is because it wasn't the easiest of decisions, and it never is. Like, I got a guy on the phone who obviously was a producer. Speaking as a producer, I can tell you right now, one of our biggest jobs, one of the jobs of a producer, is to make sure that you can make everything come in under budget and convince people to work for less than they normally think they want to. And this guy was good. He was really good. He's like, yo, man, but it's for the kids, man. We're gonna feed you real good. We're gonna give you your own hotel room. It's gonna be nice, man. We're gonna be by the beach. You know, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a bunch of people on these bikes, and it's just gonna be a good time, man. You're gonna have a ball. There's gonna be a bunch of cool people that are, oh, and your exposure. You're gonna get so much exposure because the people who are doing this are actually like movie directors and producers for these major networks things and all this other kind of stuff. And for me, I'm just sitting there thinking the whole time, like, so wait. The people that you guys have running this are the people who make the most money in the industry that I'm in. So they have money. They definitely have money. And this is for a charity event in a very rich area. So how come I'm the only one without money? Like, I mean, I get it, it's a charity event, we wanna do that. But for me, in the back of my mind, I'm like, you guys can afford to get high quality stuff. That's why you called me. Like, I sent you guys my reel, and this is why we're here and having this conversation, is because you guys want me to do this. So I'm like, if you want me to do it, or one of my team to do it, that I can hold up to that quality standard, then you have to be able to pay us at least the bare minimum, because otherwise it's not worth our time. And me, you know, being a professional drone pilot isn't the only thing I do. You know, I also, I run a company called Transit Pictures. That's a production company that does much more than drone work. So for me, it's like, is it worth my time to be away from my company, helping my company grow, to go and do this for you and for this charity and for these kids? Is it worth it for me to do this? Should I have someone else do it? Or should we do this at all? So it pretty much becomes like, is the juice worth the squeeze kind of situation? And I just encourage you, whenever someone calls you looking for any kind of work for a discount off the rate that you already should have, then there's a couple things you should do. Like I said, consider all the factors. Is this something do you have the time to do this? Is it worth it for what you had doing otherwise, or had going on otherwise? And the biggest thing for me, or one of the biggest things, is not only is it worth doing it, is this something that for me is going to help grow my brand, or is it gonna help me get to where I want to go? Is this the kind of work that I want to be doing? You know, because just because this one happened to be for brain tumors doesn't mean the next one will be. You know, I've had real estate people who are the worst hit me up multiple times saying, hey, I just need you for 30 minutes to take some pictures of this house. I'll pay you $50. And I'm like, oh, okay, well that 50 bucks is gonna count for the time I had to drive there, account for all the countless hours of learning how to use the camera, the countless hours of learning how to use the drone, and the countless, and the, like just everything, how much money I had to pay for this drone. There's just so much that goes into being a pro drone pilot that people don't value. And if they think it's only 30 minutes, they're just looking at the time and saying, this 30 minutes is what I'm paying you for. It's like, no, you're paying for me that I can do this in 30 minutes, not that it's 30 minutes that I'm doing. So you just have to understand your self-worth, your self-value, what you're willing to do, and what you're willing to give up for what. So all I say is don't promise. Like what I did in the very first phone call with this guy is I didn't promise him anything. I said, send me the information. I'll take a look at it. I'll talk to my team. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. When are you available to have a next conversation? It could be later today, it could be tomorrow, but let me think about it. Like if you aren't sure, if someone's making you uncomfortable with the way that they're attempting to negotiate with you, then you always have the option of saying, okay, cool, let me get back to you. And if they pressure you and say, no, I need to know an answer now, then just let them know, then I'm not interested. That's simple as that. If you can't wait for a couple hours for me to get my information together and for you to give me the information I'm asking you for, then I don't think you're the kind of person I should be working with in the first place. So when you have projects that come to you and people will happen, always happens, everybody's gonna wanna pay you less than what you're worth, what your rate is. That's always gonna be the case, almost always. Sometimes you tell them it, like one of the other worst feelings that happens is you tell people your price, and they're like, okay, cool, no problem. And you're just like, oh, maybe I should have asked for more. But either way, if you're getting your rate, you're happy. So make sure you fight for your rate, especially depending on the project. If it's a commercial project or something that's making people money, fight for your rate. If it's a nonprofit, I recommend having a separate set of rates, but you also specify and let those people know what your regular rates are, so that if they're looking to hire you for something else or looking to do whatever, then they understand what the expectation will be moving forward. So those are my recommendations when people try to undercut you and how to deal with charity. Like I said, I highly recommend it. I personally do a lot of charity work just because, like I feel like we're all in this together. It's a good thing to do, and I just like flying. So I want to do it as much as I can, but I don't want to undercut the other drone pilots, and I don't want to lead a bad example for when they call me again, because they normally do. Droners, thank you for checking out today's version of Droner Dialogue. I enjoyed it. I hope you did. And if you liked it that much, there's more. So check out the other Droner Dialogues, because I'm always talking about the cool things I'm doing. Or if you want to see the coolest intro video that has ever occurred for a drone channel, we got it. And a bunch more videos too, so click the link, check it out. As always, make sure that you subscribe so that you can see everything that we're doing, and make sure you stay fly.